sure if the title went through or not, but it's supposed to be about Kanye West, but I don't think it made it. I forgot to update it. Alright, this is Illuminati, what is this? Illuminati, channeling. Basically, yeah, we're going to go into, different aspects of this. Basically, yeah, it's going to go into reptilian and Babylonian energies. Basically, I'm just going to leave it open and see what comes through, because I really don't know what's going to come through. Positive energies from the aliens, and probably have to take a couple of showers after this, but that's okay. That's how I move. I move right before I get on here. It's very strange. Change the vibration, change the energy. Okay. Also do a connection with Thomas Jefferson. And basically, I'm asking the control over the planet. Basically, give a different perspective. Let's put it that way. I'm going to go throughout the families over time, not exactly yet. All right. All right. Do a little bit. You know. Yeah, we'll go into a portion of it and then take a kind of a slight break. Yes, it does. It's part of, let's see, the reptilian order. Basically, yeah, it's from, yes, aliens from outer space. Basically, obviously throughout the ancient Sumerian energies, yeah, a lot of the Illuminati powers and magic was activated. Of course, during Atlantis also, but during Sumerian times. Time-wise, basically, is your modern human. As many different versions of human throughout past. That is, of course, not in history for a good reason, or even skeleton remains, for that matter, for a good reason. So, of course, yeah, I think a lot of them went to ash easier too. Basically, they can dissolve a lot easier. It wasn't really necessary for actually a skeleton always to last a long time, at least for Atlanteans. Another thing I wasn't fully aware, which makes a lot of sense too, but there are most likely ancient Atlanteans here in skeleton remains, most likely, but a lot of them were not. They did not have, their body was different structure. So, yeah, put that on the evening news. Yeah, right. As you once again go back into the media, because that is like Sumerian type of Babylonian mind control throughout the media, throughout sports, throughout televisions, whatever it might be, and it's a seducer. As we remember, when we look back in the past, it's like, how can they fall for those type of things? Don't they know any better? And then you live in modern times, and when you're going through, it's a different story. Of course, you see it differently. That's a phase. It all comes out through different phases, and they awaken through that phase. And even, I believe, even during those certain parts of history, people awaken. And they know what's going on. Not a whole lot, but a good amount. Basically, they're aware of, you know, what we're being told is not right. And a lot of them get either wiped out or whatever it might be, or whatever it has of that. So there's all these different sparks of awakening as when civilizations go and, you know, they rise and crumble. Basically, knowledge is brought out. Also, the positive Illuminati energies are along with that. As for awakening energies, yes, they do. The positive ones do watch us and assist us where they can. They can't interfere. They have to be careful of themselves and for themselves not to be removed from the planet. Also, like with murder or something like that, from what it feels like. So that's another thing. Yeah, it's kind of important. You gotta be careful of that. So that's another reason why they're having difficulties helping us. And I forgot to turn off the Google thing. 1 second. Okay, Google, shut off. Shut down. Alright, well, that's a good pause right there. This is IronTower.com. We have private sessions open a little bit tomorrow and Friday. You can see the schedule here. Also has Google Hangouts, Zoom, and channeling by phone, Skype conversation, Skype recording. We'll also have the submit a question. It takes like 5 to 10 days for delivery. This is the new one, the channel text message. Text. Basically, you receive a document and you can read it. It goes in more in depth. In certain areas, so it's just something different. I also have the Spirit Social, and the same thing here, same items, and private sessions there too, and spiritual connections here. You can connect to other channelers and healers, much that are highly recommended. Also have the Patreon with the rabbit and news of I'll have some stuff coming up maybe this weekend. It's kind of a funny cover, but we'll see how it goes. Also have the social network here. Oh yeah, that was like I forget what that was in the library. Cool. Basically, there's a lot of occultic stuff here. Interesting, neat stuff. I should go into that too. Over time, I'll go over this also. Basically, it's just other. I think that's what it is. There's a great amount of things there. Oh. Okay, cool. I'll have to look into that. There's the bloodlines and machines that can darken the sun. Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. Cool. All right, thank you guys. Yeah, Catherine Austin Fitz, definitely. Good information there. Thank you for posting there. Here's the rabbit. And next issue most likely will be delivered sometime in the middle of next month, depending on what's going on. So, alright, thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, it's going to get weird. That's the whole deal. It's going to become more weird is normal, and basically the Illuminati goes through metaphysics, wizardry, magic, and you're using it over humanity. They call it fantasy and put it in movies so people don't connect to it. So basically just a robot slave race, and that's pretty much what it is. Pretty much, it's of course it doesn't believe in any conspiracies. Of course not. Go back to work, slave. Go back to what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to know about all this. Basically, yeah, keep your head down. Go back to work. Yeah, exactly. That's all crazy. Get back to work. That's pretty much how it works. Oh yeah. All right, now we'll open it up. Now, there's some stuff here I was going to say way back and never came through. So, another one like McDonald's. I know. What a great subject to start. McDonald's. The founders of McDonald's. Illuminati bloodline. Maybe not the highest, but still part of it. And notice how Ray Kroc came in and took their idea and destroyed them, basically. I'm not sure if they're fully destroyed or not. But the family pretty much tossed them out. That was, like, you could say that was a ritual also. I know it sounds very strange, but I looked up something, I found like a little article on it, but I know it all sounds crazy, but it was like a, kind of like, well, look at McDonald's right now. It's everywhere. Lucky us. Yeah, it's a ritual. It was basically the way it was done. It was two Illuminati families, you can say. Ray Kroc was part of another one, or occultist, whatever you want to call them. I think he's part of the Illuminati. And not to say the main families, but still part of it. Like Bill Gates is a part of it also. Maybe not the main, the workers of the Illuminati. Of course, they get rich doing it. I'm not sure how the McDonald brothers, if that family is still rich or not. It looks like they got destroyed from what I feel, but I could be wrong about that. But that's the way it goes. You come up with a new idea, and that tells you Illuminati families are all around here. Just don't always know. Success. You'd be surprised because their energy. Not all of them. Like Zuckerberg with Facebook. I don't think he's. Well, he might be now, but I don't think he. Maybe I don't think so. He's kind of a machine, but whatever. But yeah, McDonald's is a good example of. I know it's not your typical ritual, but basically they come up with a great idea. The system's there. A guy comes in, one of the occultists. He's connected to the family somewhere. And not to say they go and do seances or anything like that. Most likely not. I don't even think the McDonald's brothers do it either. That does not mean they're not part of the bloodline energy there. And the way it was done, either way, you gotta look at it in a whole different way. But not all of them are wearing robes and doing seances, but The top ones are, and trust me, yeah, McDonald's is definitely connected to the cult right now, for sure. Especially the wonderful food that they're selling out. It's so healthy, right? Yeah, it's all done by design. And Disney's part of, the Masonics energies, symbolism basically, and that is also like a trance. Disney is, yeah, you have Universal Studios that's still kind of not very, it's a competitor, but it's not very, it's more adult, but not really, it's a very occultic because it has the horror stuff, but it's a different type of occult energy, it's more for the adults, but it's still kind of, it's like it doesn't want to take away the light from Disney. Disney is supposed to be the major mind controller, and Universal is kind of like, we're not gonna overshadow you. And Disney's getting bigger and bigger. It's freaking disgusting. I'm not sure what the whole story is on that, but empires fall all the time. Not to say they will. They're trying not to fall because they have no original ideas at all. So that can only last so long. But they're trying to build it up so they can, because they're not coming up with anything really original, not like what they used to. So it's like a one-trick pony in some regard. But still, it's trying to keep that mind control going. It's doing pretty well. So Universal is not meant to the Disney is working out fine, so we don't want to overshadow that with too much in competition. It's going to be some, and it's funny, it has Harry Potter, and that's very occultic, so it's like that has an occult energy to it. Yeah, big surprise there. That's right, that's in your face. The others are kind of like, they're trying to make it all pretty and friendly, at least with Disney, but with Universal it's a lot more in your face. But if you want to look into it, that doesn't matter. But that's playing, that's playing on the minds of the many. Of course, they don't believe in all this. Not really necessarily supposed to, because you're supposed to be, part of the slave division of the Illuminati, basically, as most of us are, or all of us, for most of us. You're not supposed to notice any of this. They don't want you to open up and connect to any of this. They want you to shut down and be a worker. And they're doing a pretty good job of it, once again. Another thing, okay, now this one's way out there. I was going to do a screenshot of this, but I'm just going to mention it. Screw it. I know some people know who PewDiePie is. PewDiePie is the #1. Kind of taking a break from the whole Illuminati thing, where we're getting back into it. PewDiePie is the #1 YouTuber on YouTube, and if you look up PewDiePie and like Mark Zuckerberg, he's looking at Mark like he's analyzing him like a brother would. Now look at that. PewDiePie is like what I got in other incarnations. I don't believe here, like Palladian incarnation. Who knows? Palladian, I think. He was helping Mark become less robotic, and now he's looking at him here. Is like the way he's looking at him. He has one video out there. I'll post it sometime. But it's like you're looking at Mark like a brother would look at another brother. It's like you can do a little bit better, because Mark was at that hearing. He's like looking like a machine and all that. And I'm not sure if that's the video, but either way, there was one that I'll have to post it later. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, why would PewDiePie put all this effort into the CEO of Facebook if there wasn't a connection there? So there is definitely a connection there. And it just gives you an idea of how the connections work here. And so we're kind of like decoding ourselves, decoding this reality to more understand, more of a fourth-dimensional understanding of it. And also with the Illuminati, they're like in some ways they're like a family. They're gonna because we shut ourselves down. They're in Atlantis, so they kind of became like our parents, and you're babysitting us now. I have to show you. I mean, you look at sports, look at TV. It's babysitting. It's a different version of it. It's babysitting. I mean, it's not a bad thing. That's one way of calling it. There's probably better ways. Probably more nicer ways to say it, but I just say it that way. It's least you understand. But it's like babysitting until we awaken. Now, we weren't necessarily supposed to awaken. Oh, we could have, but most likely. We're here to learn through third dimension realities, and we've learned quite, yeah. Because we shut down, I mean, not many worlds take a high vibrational knowledge and shut themselves down like the Atlanteans did. I don't think so. Even allowed all these beings to come here. You know, when we shut ourselves, even Mother Earth, she said, bring everybody. And it wasn't just the Atlanteans, it was Mother Earth. It's like when Atlanteans shut themselves down, she pretty much said, bring everybody here. And we got them all here. You know, archons, whatever it might be, that's causing, you know, all the wars we've had, diseases and all of that. All of this is just, yeah, it's for us to learn. It's school. And coming out of it is not, it's not necessarily supposed to be a quick, you know, turnaround either. I believe it's mostly just understanding. Understanding, you know, it's like a turn in a page of reality. Or turning the page, but turning it very slowly. You have to slowly evolve. As fast does not mean you're going to adapt very well to the high vibration. So, yeah, when aliens show up, they're going to show up when they show up. Not to say they can, not to say they won't, but they will when they do. They're most likely not going to announce it. Not in a traditional way, at least. It just probably most likely appear out of nowhere. Individually, most likely, maybe most likely in disguise in some areas, yeah, depending. Mexico seems to be a pretty safe place. But as for, yeah, the Illuminati energies here, basically it's like a cage. They put the bars around us and they make life hell for us. They're taught to do that too. As you can see, we hear from the Illuminati family, it's very black magic, darkness. But that's to keep us under seduction. It's just, it's like, things can, I believe things can be unraveled, but when we're ready for it. Once again, we ask for everybody to pretty much beat the crap out of us, basically. That's probably a better word for that, but basically we come here to have the hell beat out of us, basically. And it's to speed things up, so we can come here and we can go to other worlds. Like, look, I went through that. It's like going through a car wash, but it goes on for 30 or 50 or 100 years. But it's not a very kind of car wash either. But it does have its purpose. Now, there's some that come here, like Sylvia Brown that comes here, that does come here with good intentions, but then gets taken over. And, you know, it's same old, you know, it's not exactly the best situation. But still, there was an awakening there. It does have some positives, but yeah, it's still a lot of dark stuff there. And that's usually pretty common. You're already seeing that currently in those that are already very popular. I'm not going to go into names on that one. You already see that going on with some of them. So it's just a seduction. It doesn't always happen to all of them, but it does happen to some at least. I would say it even happened to Howard Stern. He kind of lost his edge, and now it's kind of boring now, from what I've heard. I don't really listen to him that much, but it's another version of it. Wealth can cool down the soul, but not always. Not always. It's another reason why, like Jesus, Yeshua, stayed poor, as another way to, you know, keep that fire going. Of course, they don't live that long, but it keeps that energy going. The more wealthy you get, I mean, like I said, it's not always for the worst. It depends on what your infrastructure you're working on or whatever it might be. But a lot of the poor is a lot of ways for the better. It all depends. So it keeps you grounded. It keeps you grounded to your mission. And the more success you can get, the more you can get lost. So that's, like I said, it's not all cases, but the seduction of the dark side is very compromising. And you can get seduced and not even know it and get pulled into it. Which goes into another thing that this one's a little bit heavy, I think. It's one I'm still trying to understand, so I'm going to bring this one up. It's basically, you can say they're like spiritual sabotagers. They don't know it though. Those that come into, they say they're spiritual, but they're actually there to set the agenda. Using money to do that and show like, oh, I'm just a normal person. And they're trying to shut you down. Like if you're a spiritualist, you know, doing sessions. They come in basically here to set the agenda, basically. Oh, that's not right, that's wrong, that's right. But it's done in a way where it's more sabotage than it is just typical criticism. They do exist. Not many of them from what I feel, but well, maybe there are. I don't think there's that many of them now. And they don't even know that they're doing it. They're just, some of them are arrogant, whatever it might be, but they're definitely part of a cabal energy, and they don't know it. Sometimes their lives are miserable. They have to be miserable, because how are you going to get help if you're not miserable? They have to have some kind of issue that's going on. Basically, they sold themselves off to be manipulated, most likely before the incarnation. It's like, oh, this is happening, I have to go to this spiritual person, and they're actually there to cause difficulties. And how you connect with that is basically, there's red flags normally. But some of them are trying to set the agenda of basically kind of, they're kind of stop the awakening process in their own way by sabotaging light workers. You'd be surprised. I swear this does exist. I tell you, it exists. I've dealt with it, and I'm still kind of scratching my head on it. I'm still trying to figure out, because and like I said, the person involved with it isn't aware of it, but it's there. Of course, they're going to say no, but that's the whole idea. They're undercover. They don't really know, but it is a kind of like a demonic energy there. And like I said, there's several of them, but it's still a small amount. They're all over the place. They're just, yeah, it's part of the dark cabal. Some kind of like soul contract they did in astral before they came here, to basically because they don't want people awaking. They want to set the agenda that you're going to go by my rules, and that's it. And what's funny is that one of those rules was, once again, mass arrest, and the economic reset was one of them. And it's like, that's all just, well, more power to you. It's kind of hard to see those also in the future, but most likely not. But it tells you kind of where the agenda is going. And some of that information came from Gaia TV, which is kind of interesting. So, okay, so yeah, there's like a network of manipulation going on there, from what I'm gathering. And there's another things like the criticism I got was like, oh, I'm just now there's a misunderstanding. Basically, the person that was heckling me is like saying, oh, but you're just going, the alien's just basically going by what you are saying or whatever. Actually, it's the opposite. Because I'm actually connected to my councils I'm connected to. I'm connected to, you know, Andromedans and Alpha Centauri and other beings. And I'm connected to those councils. So I see a timeline different than others. Everybody's connected to their own point of view. But the council I'm connected to is not seeing that. Not in the way that's being broadcast by this person. So saying I'm doing the agenda is actually opposite. I'm just going by what's coming through. Of course, any being I connect to is going to, now there'll be different beings, I'll have different points of view, of course, but the ones I'm going to be, that I would be connecting to give you information, most likely you go by what I'm picking up on, because it's not that. So, different way of twisting that around, but some are just, basically, they want to go to the unrest timeline. Fear of just mass arrest that you can beat that drum all you want. What matters most is basically you are shifting into a higher vibration individually. You know, just not letting all this nonsense bother you of conspiracies. None of it means anything. None of it means anything in the long run. Not really. What matters most is that you are finding your own truth, and basically realizing this reality can be cleared out by your own vibration. It's just a matrix energy, and it can be shut down. Eventually it will be fully, but you can just basically clear out what you don't need to experience. Like those that I work with, or put like a wall around them of the reality, and they're not willing to open up to the higher vibrations for good reasons. It's just part of the process. That's fine. But individually, the idea is basically you create your own reality, but basically letting go of the manipulations that you call conspiracy or modern day life. look at things a lot differently without, because other people can program you. Very obvious. TV does it all the time, but without the television, people are still programming you because they're being programmed, so they're going to program you. So you most likely feel those programs and just clear out. It's manipulate. It's not. They don't know they're doing it. It just happens automatically. It's just called normal, basically. But basically, we're all our own televisions broadcasting. Basically, we are broadcasting, and that's what the elites know. And of course, they set the agenda. Yeah, it gets weird. It's like it's different ways of looking at it. That's why I'm going into this, because it goes into metaphysics. And metaphysics is how you're going to get out of this. Of course, we'll all be called crazy, witches, whatever. It's like, whatever you say. Say it's dark, it's not, I mean, there's dark there, but it doesn't mean you have to connect to it. The idea is for the soul to upgrade yourself into more of a high vibration. Many are waiting for the aliens to help us and save us. We're going to save ourselves. That's what I see. I don't think aliens are going to save us at all. They'll help us. They ain't going to save shit. They're going to sell shit. They're going to land. They're going to wait for us. We got to grow up for us to see them and connect to them. And and some don't want to hear that, but we got to grow up. We got to grow up to all this craziness exists. Basically, aliens exist, the universe, we can connect to angels, we can start seeing them through your third eye, but eventually go into physical when you upgrade your vibrations. Basically, allow the insanity to continue in. And basically, those in the third dimension call you crazy, like a whiny little kid, basically, but that's fine. That's their part of their vibration, nothing to worry about there. I mean, that's just the way it is. Yeah, it's crazy, but basically the prison mentality, unlock that, you can allow yourself to connect to whatever you like, basically. But basically the fourth dimensional vibration, the way you look at things. Of course, it's not the easiest to do on every day. Some do it automatically, but not always understanding of how far to go, or it just takes time. As for everyone else, is basically gonna, as more people connect to that energy, the more it will start to happen of changing the Earth's vibration. It's already going to happen. You just have more. It's basically your senses will increase little by little by little. So basically, we're like a flower blossoming slowly, and just look at it like that. And it's best if you don't. Yeah, it's best. I mean, if you're not feeling comfortable telling people about all this, probably for the best. It's telling you for a reason, for your protection and for theirs. Because some people hear this stuff and just freak out. And sometimes that might be humorous, but other times it'd be like, this isn't good for anybody. It make them sick. It really can. It can make you sick too. It make you regret it. So you gotta be careful, because people send out energies all the time. You can curse each other too by low energies. Not to say you have to do a seance or anything, just sending energies. You're always sending vibrations out. And that's what the elite know. Now, once again, with the elite, I don't think they're always out. Yes, they might make things difficult, at least the negative ones, but also they like to see how this plays out. Like, I don't think there's going to be a battle with them or anything like that. Some might want to do that, but I believe also be like, here we are. Hello there. We see you finally. Instead of all this nonsense of war and all that, some will probably connect to that because that's just the way they are. But another thing be like, okay, just, that was fun. I don't want to do that ever again. So it's like an all-knowing, basically. As for when this, I mean, who knows? But it's just basically as more people become aware of their own self-power, more of this. Basically, wars will eventually end. Who knows when that'll be? But the people have to change. Aliens can fly around their ships all the time and talk about hybrid kids and whatever, and that's great. But we're still sitting here trying to figure out what to freaking do. It's like, I'm not sure how much that's really helping. It's not really helping. I mean, it helps, I guess. It would get you more into thinking about the alien energies. That's fine. But the idea is to upgrade yourself. Change the way you look at things. If some don't like what you say, it doesn't really matter. Who cares? Some take it very, it's like, it feels like some are holding on to, it's like, this is my truth and all that, but whatever. Many realities are going to be shifted. But basically, I guess some in the spiritual community doesn't mean that they're some just they have all the knowledge and they're all so great and it's all ego central and whatever it might be. That's what I think some of that's coming from. Some of the backlash I get is from that. It's like, who are you? You don't know anything, and jeez, whatever. It's bad, but whatever. It's a small group. It's not, you know, it's small. It's just toxic. Whatever. It's just it's growing up. But basically, I mean, is there any real understanding of all of this? Yeah, the more arrogant you get, I think the more difficult it becomes to grow. It's just, and there's a lot of that for some reason. I'm not sure what that's coming from, but basically, the more free, open, basically like an open hippie, basically, and just go with the flow, have fun with it, don't take it so seriously. And just basically just not let the problems of the day bother you so much and just be free. Free your mind. There's problems in the world, just don't let them bother you and just be free. It takes time, but you'll basically, everyone has to figure out on their own. Everyone has a different process of transforming. And this is what, yeah, the elites knows very much. Yes, they're basically, like I said, they can play with us all they want, throw all the stuff they want, economy or whatever it is, but that will only last so long. When you're just like, I'm not going to let any of this stuff bother me, just no more. I just want to free myself of all of this. And gradually, I believe it will happen. It just takes time. So that's one thing, we're not given really the keys of understanding of how to evolve. I mean, we are evolving slowly, but the idea is to you just have another way of looking at things. Don't let the things like Kanye West and all that nonsense of, oh yeah, Kanye West, I'm not sure if that made it to the title of this or not, but Kanye West is basically deactivating the mind control. I don't know if they're going to Baker Act him or what. They might. He's tired of it, from what I get. So, I think it has something to do with initiation of Taylor Swift. And I think he knows that, and he just knows what's the part in it. So, and also George, this Bush Senior, they went to the hospital recently. Yeah, he's probably going to check out soon. If he hangs in there, I'll be really surprised. I doubt it, because his wife's gone. Now his purpose of living, satanic ways are coming to an end, and yuck. Oh, it's just not a good energy there. Oh, well, whatever. That's his business. Yeah, and I think that Illuminati family is going to die out, too. I think so. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It'll still be a part of the bloodline, but it's not. It's going to be just a flat tire. It's kind of already been that already. But unless somebody hits the limelight, it looks like it's just going to fade out. From what it seems like. It's just the way it is. No, your purpose is done. Made you rich and get out of our face. So, let's see. I forget what else was in the title tonight. Okay, I'm not sure if Kanye West got into the title, so we're going to do a connection with Thomas Jefferson about the Illuminati connections also. Yeah, this is kind of like a slight introduction of it. Yes, the reptilians are very much involved with it, basically the main mind control of us, basically to suppress us in different ways. So basically they're like, yeah, obviously majorly mind manipulators. They're just, yeah, it's just like, they're going to keep on throwing, I mean, eventually they're going to run out of tricks to play. There's only so much that's going to work. And, you know, they do connect to people's ego, which is funny how something that's just so freaking smart, and it's like, that's the manipulation. Don't you know that? Apparently not. Like I said, it's only a few that are like that, but it can be, anyway, they have fun with it. They just have a blast with it. As for, like, human trafficking and stuff like that, yeah, it has to do with wealth. Those that keep wealth, they're involved with it. John Benet Ramsey's family was involved with it, so at least that was kind of like a child sacrifice that went on there. for what it sees and destruction of the family. Yeah, it was Illuminati family. Illuminati families are within their military, what do you call them? Raytheon and, you know, those companies that fund all the weapons and stuff like that. They're in there somewhere. Not necessarily the ones that work there, but the ones that run it. That's all Illuminati family. General Dynamics and other companies, yeah. It's at the high top, though. Definitely. It's at the, yeah, Scientology also. It's another branch of Illuminati. It's a different version of it, but more like a public version of Illuminati, actually, which is kind of interesting. It's more like a public version, pretty much. It is a, it goes in, it's kind of the alien stuff is kind of interesting, but it is it's like a public version of it. Basically, you can see what they're doing. Tom Cruise, basically, just screwing with his mind. That is a public display of self-destruction, basically. Now, they do this mostly quietly. And also the thing with Congress, or politics, it is getting better. I feel it. And I think it also, it just feels that some areas are getting better. Not all of it, of course, but there's some areas where it's improving. So whatever they're doing seems to be working. Let's see. Okay, we're going to the, alright, I'm just going to get messages here. The Bundy family is connected to the Illuminati, is highly satanic. Obviously, Black Ops actually connected to MK Ultra mind control. Basically, mind control that went wrong, not entirely, but Ted Bundy is definitely mind control. Part of the, yeah, basically his programming, he's basically like your public version of Illuminati, your typical Illuminati member, but he went public with it, basically. So he basically enjoyed his psychoticness, as you can see. So it tells you how not all of the Illuminati are like that, always at the top, but some can lose their minds. And you know, a lot of your serial killers are Illuminati bloodline. Not all, but a good amount of them are. But of course, they're not always public either. Like that one was public, but a lot of them are not. American Psycho, that was a book that was made on this. That is, I believe it's more like a satire of your average American, unfortunately. That we're taught to be psychotics, and we are. We're being raised to be that way. I think it's more of a satire. I don't think it was like your average human, but it is a satire on what we're being programmed to being, and that's very true. But you can say you're a typical Illuminati member, definitely. At the psychotic part of it. Yeah, they do, obviously, when you get to that phase, child trafficking is not a big deal. What they do with slaughterhouses with animals, not a big deal. They enjoy anything that has to do with blood. They enjoy every minute of it. So, part of our growing up, you can say, it's becoming more vegetarian over time. And basically, you know, you see how much darkness is here. It's going to take a while. Basically, the way the animals are treated here, and it's just, you see the evolution. It's going to take some time. Because I believe all of these things will be healed. It's just a slow process. It's basically those that are causing a lot of this. It's just the thought patterns of having to eat this type of food also has to change. A lot of things have to shift, and that's something you can't do over time. As you can tell through history, societies evolve. This society will also, I believe so. We evolved into technology. Why can't we evolve into a better way of living? And it's another way of looking, and it's a fourth dimensional. Yes, we're in the early stages of this still. Yeah, this is very early. This is very, very early. I mean, just, but this is building the road to our aliens and a paradise planet eventually. I'm not just saying that. It just takes, you know, a lot of darkness here has to be flushed out. And once again, getting from the Bundy family, or from the Illuminati, is basically, yes, Illuminati mind control gone. It was never meant to be gone public, but sometimes it does. I believe they've kept more of a quiet on a lot of this now. They've gotten better at hiding it, but they still do the same stuff. So Ted Bundy, if you want to know how the elite act, not all of them, but a good portion of them do. where they really just kind of lose their minds. But they're better at hiding it now, from what I'm figuring. Either it's overseas or it's somewhere where there's not. Either they got better at covering up. I'm not sure how why Bundy got so. They're trying to basically pay everybody off before it gets up. And that's why child trafficking, I mean, human trafficking comes in, because they can just screw around with those people. It's freaking disgusting. Yeah, it's pretty gross. But when you get to that wealth factor, they kind of force you into it. So you can't get out. You want your wealth, you want your good life, you have to be involved with this. From what I'm gathering, that's really, it's psychotic, but that's part of it. Not all families are involved with it from what I see either, but some are. Mostly at the higher range of it, from what it seems. Yeah, because it's part of sacrifice. Yep. Now Trump is doing what he can about himself being sacrificed. Yeah, I think he knows where the line is. Where the line can be crossed. Because I think he's come close to it. When you see those scandals break out, I think all else has to do is kind of pushing his luck too. So he pushes his luck, scandals break. So he has to like be careful of that. So they can. I think he has enough stuff that they can throw out. Yeah, because I think things kind of slowed quiet down on that, at least in the media. So yeah, it's complicated. It's out there, but they're not. You know, obviously it's done by, once again, magicians. And I know your normal public will not tap into this. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to see what they're doing. Just go watch your football, and that's why it's all there. All the entertainment's there for a reason. Your work is there. Just stay out of our business, basically. Yeah, it's like, you know. Now, when you start becoming aware, you're going to beat the crap out of you. You're going to make you look like an idiot. They're going to do whatever they can. When none of that works, because they know you're just going to look like a moron, basically, because they run pretty much most of the minds on the planet. So, of course, they're going to just not care. They just let humanity destroy you, basically. Pretty much. Yeah, they just let people just, you know. So, yeah, it's like they already set up the system, so it sabotages you, or you just sabotage yourself, or whatever it might be, get paranoid and go crazy. Whatever works, as long as you stay out of their way, they don't really care. Yeah, but they do know when you awaken. They do know that, from what I gather. You are watched, definitely. I mean, everyone's watched, but when you awaken, you're really watched. Not entirely like every detail, but they do keep an eye on you, from what it seems. So, become a project for them, for sure. You want to see what you do, see if nothing works. They throw stuff at you, nothing works. It's like, okay. So, of course, they can pretty much pull your cord, like pull your life off the planet. They're not allowed to do that. I think they could. Now, these are the ones that are human here, not your aliens. So, anyway. But yeah, a lot of the reptilian energies here, basically, like I see, what I see is that the aliens here are influencing the elite, but still, it's human influence for the most part. You know, we get, you know, it's mostly, we're making the rule, even the elites that are, like, in space, it's like nuts, but they're still human. They have human DNA. They are human, somehow. Some of them are, at least. It's enough to make it where they're allowed to do this to us. It's very bizarre, from what I'm gathering. Yes, they are in space, from what I gather, yeah. Well, that's why you can't find them anywhere. At least the major ones. Yeah. The magicians are not going to show themselves, for sure. I think mostly in Europe they appear, but not. If you see one, it's probably very, very dark. There's probably light ones too, but the darker ones are probably most likely to be seen. And it's like you're meeting Satan himself, from what I'm gathering. Yeah, it's nothing. Yeah, they know mind control. They know everything. They know exactly what they're doing. There's very few of them, from what I gathered, that are reigning here. But yeah, they're very spooky. Yeah, nothing to be scared of, but just to be yeah, don't be worried about it. That's okay. They'll just mind control you into insanity. No, I wouldn't worry about that. But the chance of running into one is not very high, but they do exist. Yeah, they have, I believe they also, I'm not sure if they have the ability to actually disappear, but some of them might. I'm not sure about that. I think some of them can. But some are just third-dimensional magicians are just absolutely wicked. I think some can appear and disappear, but I'm not sure. It's hard to say. It might be very clear on that. I think some, yeah, some can, some can't. I believe most of them are in Europe, though. From what I'm gathering here. Spain, Europe, Spain, yeah. Yeah, I think it's more of the third dimension. It's psychotic either way. They watch over the Queen and the, yeah. They don't make an appearance, though, from what I see. They are there, though. So, yeah. Jeez. Yeah. Basically, if everything is going fine, from what I'm gathering, they don't interfere. Everything you're doing what you're being told. But when something goes wrong, then they start. I'm not sure how that works, but they make an appearance, or somebody that's connected to them makes an appearance, or something like that. I'm not sure how that works exactly, but that's what I'm getting. So most of the time, everything's running smoothly. But when there's a problem, and then the Queen gets a visit from somebody. I'm not sure who this is. I don't know. It's through the church, through the Vatican. It could be like a priest, but it's actually part of the cabal. I don't know how that works exactly, but they're highly being watched. That's all. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not sure if I want to see something like that. Okay. Alright. Alright, we're going to do Thomas Jefferson connection about the Illuminati. Give me a little bit more. I don't know what he's going to say. I'm not sure if it's going to be very long or what. Most likely it'll be a short message. Basically, I don't know if I ever connected him before. I don't think so. I knew George Washington, but yeah, part of what we need to do to help us understand, you know, I don't know, understanding of it of some kind. The alien, I don't know, whatever it comes through. We'll just see. We'll just see what happens. So, all right, blessings. Here we go. I am Thomas Jefferson. Your global elite have always run America. America has always been under control. It is foundations of it was to bring a new order, new world order, new order of enlightenment as basically for global control. The United States is built for that, for control of the earth. Yes, the land of the Americas was already known centuries ago, before it was ever discovered. Beyond that, it was basically used for rituals in the past, and basically even the Indians were left alone, as this was mostly done in secret. But much rituals are done on your land before you all became part of it. So realize also the agendas were set long ago, before your America was even discovered, according to your history. As for it was time to allow it to be known. Yes, as many extraterrestrial connections on your continent, as much as not just your Indians are thrown off your land, but also your aliens are thrown off this land also. Not seen on the public, of course not. As basically sacred land is basically taken over, basically for darkness to be ruled, yes. The military rule was brought here, basically to, yes, continue the elite agenda. As for even before America was discovered, it was not sure what to do with this land, as it did not want, basically your elites did not want to have anything to do with it as of yet, as they had plans for it, but was not truly clear of its plan. As of now, as you see, much mind control is done, as what was planned in the very beginning. Even during my time, it is always difficult to see the future. As for us of the Founding Fathers, we did see the future, not as clearly as your time, but we did see it. And even in my point of view, I realized I was doing a job. I had no choice, as I was giving higher power of knowledge and had to do what I was being told. I could not go against the ones that were controlling me. I could, but ended my death or not a very good experience. So I went along with it, basically. And basically I was like a god, like a king. Basically. And yes, my advancements on your planet are great, yes. I was connected to, yes, Akashic Records. I was basically a master of many talents. I was alien also. And I didn't want to give that up. I didn't want to go against my mission here. Because I was bringing much good. Yes, I was bringing darkness also. I realized that. But also a warning also to humanity. Not necessarily very clear of what was going on. But basically my existence alone should be enough to realize that your world was not, or what was going on was not normal, and far from it. I of many was an alien. I was a human, but very connected to the alien vibrations of the occultic knowledge, yes. As I chose this incarnation to bring enlightenment, and yes, I had to sell myself like most do. But my agenda was much different than your George Washington. Mine was more sinister. In the long run, not always done in your history, realized history, yes. Brushed away things that I did not want to make be public. But as you can see, that some of your Benjamin Franklin has been known. And those things are true. As for his scandal around his name, yes, it's true. What I have done, most of it, I believe, has been erased, as far as I can tell. As yes, when comes great knowledge, comes great psychoticness, sociopathicness, yes. As you connect to a level of energy, yes, we are highly manipulated. Yes. But we should remember, we are gods. So we're going to act godlike. We are your modern day gods during that time. We are your Zeus. We are your Jupiters. You understand. So we feel like we do anything, and we did it. This is an immortal time for us. Of course, we were mortal, but still immortal in many ways. As for transition, to turn this timeline around to a new direction. But realize also, yes, much darkness, but also much light this time. But as you can see, there's not many Thomas Jeffersons around anymore, or even George Washington for that matter, as that was just for that era. As basically also, you will look back at that time and realize there's much more going on that meets the eye. But basically, many of us are put there to continue the cabal energies. Not George. He was not part of it. It was, but not. My place is basically to put the energies of the Illuminati around, yes, around the government, basically. The symbolism, all of it, to make it happen. The magic to, yes, rule your current man. And humanity has not changed that much. They're still kind of isolated from what's truly going on, as you can see. Only a handful, are open-minded, as you can see. No different in my time. Realize also that, yes, the same problems of back then is currently now. It's just changed slightly. More advanced, more sophisticated, same manipulation, same people too. Same during my time or part of your time, but also some of theirs who awaken. Realize as I had many incarnations during my time are unlikely to awaken, but anything is possible. It depends if they're willing to take the next leap of themselves. Many are most likely not to do so. fear, and just realize also the time of plenty. They'll get plenty of food, plenty of living. All this plentiness shuts down the mind. And the reason why many light workers are poor and uncomfortable for a reason: to wake you up. You have to have something here to ground you, to awaken you. If you come here just like everybody else, you'll be like everyone else. Many of you want to open up. Some of you are too open. But it's better than being closed. Open to your aliens, dreaming everywhere. It's like getting homesick. Would you rather that, or would you rather be as a zombie, as some of you are calling it? It's actually much worse than a zombie, but we'll call it that. So what would you rather? Many would rather be open, yes. Not every... Call it a gift. A gift that will keep on giving to humanity eventually. Because you're in an age of awakening. Yes. During my time, yes, also. But that wasn't the time for aliens. That was the time of freedom. False freedom. But freedom. It was very false, yes. As the control of your dollar was going to happen eventually. Even if your Federal Reserve failed in the 1920s, it would have found a way to work eventually. You'll find a president that is weak enough to give in. So trust me, your Federal Reserve system would have happened no matter what. They would not give up. They'll take time with it. They'll keep trying, as you can see. During my time, it was a different time. It was not time for that, but they still controlled it to a certain degree. So what's happening now in your world? Your founding fathers most likely become more aware, more clear, more understanding, eventually. What matters most is you find, yes, your true heart, your true self. Unlocking the new human, yes. Isn't impossible. Some will see that. Realize, yes, many of you that are in the awakening path are much different than you were a year ago or 2 years ago. Realize yourself 5 years in the future. If you know what you know now, what are you going to turn into next? Some might turn into an alien being all your own. If you're looking for aliens, you might transform yourself. And that's kind of the idea of your self-transformation. You're actually changing your DNA as you are aware. As you awaken, your DNA shifts. Your mind controls your body. Well, it's a part of it, and it does make a big deal. Realize when you're sick, your mind makes you sick, doesn't it? It can also bring enlightenment. Think about that. 5, 10 years down the road, you'll be much different than you are now. And that's the idea. As your elite systems here, yes, they are very psychotic, for a good reason. As basically seduce the air that you breathe. Seduction of low energies. Yes, the low energy, what you breathe is what they are sending out. It's kind of hard to, yes, you can hold your breath, but only so long. That's done by design, by the way. Realize also, if you can close the air passages and hold, I wouldn't recommend holding your breath, but your body is designed to breathe air. But realize what you're breathing is part of your manipulation on your planet. Not to say you're going to be manipulated, but realize, yes, there is much sophistication here. It is being inhaled. Now, those of you who are awakened is a blessing in disguise. Yes, it might be very hard on many of you, but realize also, the time I come from, those are hard times. This, yes, is hard, but it could be far worse. You're actually going to more of a technology age of a new human. Basically, you can all connect to your higher vibrations in due time. What matters most now is you're unlocking this creature you're called. Many of you are actually going to start looking different. Your skin colors are going to start to change also. Blue, green, yellow, yes. In your lifetime, possibly. But definitely a future human is going to be a different color human. As you raise your vibration, you will be a pink person, a yellow person, and on and on. You grow up black, you turn yourself yellow. I'm serious about this. This is where you're heading. So just let yourself go, basically. Let it all just go. Have fun with it, however you want to deal with it. But this, yes, elite energies on your world are not that powerful. Yes, they seduce the third dimension, but it's very difficult to seduce the fourth dimension. They're not that strong there. Just to give you that. As you raise your vibration, your direction, they become a lot weaker than you ever thought. Yes, they might be very mind manipulative, but it doesn't work on you as strong because you take back your power. What they do is not, the seduction doesn't work as much as it used to. And controlling it through 4 dimensions is not that easy. Yes, it can go through the ego, but even that can only last so long. It is like riding a bike that goes nowhere. So yes, that is up to you to release that. Many are choosing not to because they want the higher power. Why do so many spiritual people connect to the ego and think they know everything? Because they want the higher power. They want to know everything. In due time. What matters most is that you are happy with yourself. Realizing during my time I wasn't that happy with myself. Yes, very productive, but not the happiest person in the world. Because I realized I was just a puppet like anybody else. Yes, I was of high power, but still, I mean, I have all these talents, but I'm under restrictions. Yes, I did inventions, but still, it was still actually a very miserable existence. As for what was done to the American people, I am not proud of. I am not being proud of that at all. As it could have been much better. But yes, it's a sign of the times, but still it could have been much better. The monetary system could have been removed. If you want freedom, money has to be removed from your planet. And even during my time, we actually had a chance of doing that. It was unlikely to happen. So if you think your elite to not rule your America back then, actually they did. Because there was part of, even the gold standard, they're still involved with it. Trust me, who had all the gold? Well, you don't have to guess. And if you had all the gold, trust me, they'll find a way to take it from you. So there are always, anywhere there is money, your elites are there. There to take it from you, to have more of it. They'll make it work for them. They know exactly what they're doing. They're very patient. The patience, realize also, patience is a virtue that needs to be more, you need to really sit in that chair. Because the more impatient you get, the more, yes, your elites take control over you. Because they can also control the messages that come through. Because people get more impatient, more impatient, more impatient. They can rule you. It is best to sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. Patience is a virtue that needs to be explored on your world. If it is not, you'll be easily pulled into manipulations. Take that as you want. Realize Martin Luther King, a great man of your time, yes. Patient. Actually very patient, but inevitable. He was surprised he didn't remove from your planet a long time ago. Yes, as by the cabal. Very much they got tired of hearing about him. They got tired of, basically his message was over and they had enough of it. So they did mind control to remove him. Basically. There's much more to that. Those conspiracies around it are most likely true. But either way, the cabal energies had enough of it. He finished his time here too. You can say he wanted to go out with a bang. Because basically the message has been heard, and now I'm going to really tell you by leaving fast. And he did. So you realize also some of these assassinations are done on purpose by the individual being assassinated. Because nobody's listening to me. But maybe if somebody blew me away, maybe everyone will hear me better. My message would be heard even more. Your Kennedy is one of them. Yes, and even your Lincoln is one of them. Of course, a lot of that message got buried. There's much more to your Lincoln, and yes, what happened did happen. As for your history, yes. Yes. So, yes, my message to you is to be who you want to be. But realize, yes, your media is not your friend. Not at all. It is your yes, it is your babysitter. It is there to tell you what to do. How to think, your sports, all of it's there to tell you what to do. Even your movies are there to tell you what to do. Realize that. Realize who's running the show. You will see it eventually. Who's running the show behind that? Many are not ready to hear this, as I can definitely fuel. As it basically, the programming is just comforting enough. It's like comfort food. Comforting enough where they just sit back, relax, enjoy the manipulations. In some cases, yes, but not always. It's like they've not found the truth enough to release from the manipulations. They have not found the right words to release themselves from that type of thinking, of their way of life. They have not been shown, or 9/11 is one way of breaking people out of the mind manipulation. Your economy crashing is another way of breaking people out of the mind manipulation. What breaks your society out of mind manipulation is your stars. Your musicians. You'd be surprised how many of them can actually snap people out of the trance. Think about that. Your actors also, those are mind manipulators. They're famous ones, mind manipulations, all through. But it's called voodoo, another way of looking at it. Trust me, they change their ways. Look how many people follow the way they think. Your Kim Kardashian, she changes her ways. What if she started to open up more to your alien vibrations? Look how many will follow her. She has her followers. That's your modern day Cleopatra in some cases. Look at that. The followers. Yes, you have Babylon written all over your planet. The followers on your, your Twitter, follow this person. Yes, it is Babylonian all over it. You can break this curse by seeing through the lines. The messages are all there. Yes, the symbolisms are there. Can you break out of the trance? That is the game. Can you break yourself out? Most of you can if you want to. Your average human can, but chooses not to until they get to the right person has to talk to them, basically. The right person speaks to them, they're out. It's just like MK Ultra, basically. One word breaks you out, right? Same thing. I've said enough here. This is fun. If you believe it or not, that's up to you. I don't care. This is quite educational for me. The air here is not as cute. It is not as good as it could be. It is, yes, part of seduction. It is polluted beyond. Many of you are aware. That will be fixed one day. Take care.